This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. All the way from Las Vegas, I'm joined by Mr. Top Rank himself, Bob Arum. How's your weekend going, Bob?
Good, really good. We have a big event in Tulsa, Oklahoma tonight, and but I'm not. I had a cold, bad cold, so which is over now. But I'm staying at home, and I'm going to watch it on the television on the ESPN Plus.
Okay. Well, yeah, sorry to hear you're not doing great, but
No, I know I'm great now. Thanks to all the antibiotics and all the other crap I've been taking.
Well, aside from the antibiotics, I'm sure the news yesterday that your side had won the purse bids for Fury and White perks you up a little bit. Good news, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's, I think, the biggest fight in the history of the UK. I mean, particularly because it's two Brits fighting for the heavyweight championship. Dylan White's an excellent fighter and very dangerous fighter, and Tyson Fury is Tyson Fury. And I think it's going to be a great fight, and it'll get a great reception from fans on both sides of the water.
I think it definitely will. Did you expect this to go to purse bids, Bob? I spoke to Frank today, and that he said that a deal was really never close between yourselves and Team White. Did you expect it to go to bids?
I don't know what I expected or not expected. We just never had any dialogue with the white people, and that's unfortunate. Oh my God! So, because I like when we win a purse bid, my history is, and we go and we launch a big promotion, I want both sides as happy as possible. Both sides cooperate in the promotion, and both sides realize that whatever animosity they have against each other, that boxing needs that kind of cooperation. Because there'll be press conferences and all of that. So I think Frank is trying to hopes to hold a press conference this coming week, and I'll be flying over, and I hope I have an opportunity to talk to the Dylan White people to make them as happy as possible.
Bob, last time I remember you being here was in London for Lomachenko Campbell. Was that correct?
That is correct. And then we had the pandemic. Otherwise, I mean, London is one of my favorite cities. It really is. I just love London. And my wife particularly loves London. And we were, in effect, prevented from going there because of the pandemic. And that was terrible. We loved the theater there. We had a lot of friends there. So I missed it. So I can't wait to get back and spend a few days in London.
Well, I hope you're bringing her with you.
Excuse me?
I said, I hope you're bringing her with you, your wife.
Oh, yeah. God, if I told her I was going by myself or with one of my guys, she would shoot me. She loves London.
Yeah, we look forward to a lively press conference between Fury and White. It's going to be a good build-up. And how do you see the fight itself going? Obviously, Tyson goes in as favourite, but how much of a chance do you think White has?
White has a great chance because he's a big puncher, and he's a very rugged heavyweight, very experienced heavyweight. And if anything, he poses a bigger danger to Tyson than even Wilder did. And Wilder had Tyson on the deck twice. So I look for a really great heavyweight fight. I mean, boxing. You've seen the power that Dylan White has. And it's going to be a tremendous fight. And when I called Tyson up after the purse bid, after the usual bluster, Tyson bluster, he said to me, Bob, make sure that Jared Anderson comes over here to train with me. And we had Anderson fighting over in the States in March. And so we scrapped that, and he's going to go over and train with Tyson. and will be one of the principal supports on the night of the fight in April.
That's fantastic to hear. We look forward to seeing Jared Anderson live on our TV screens in the UK.
Yeah.
Bob, let's just discuss the purse bids then. Of course, you guys won it at $42 million, the highest ever in boxing history. Where did this money come from? We know Queensbury are doing this show in association with you guys. So where did the actual 40 million plus come from, Bob?
Well, it came from two of our great partners, and who had invested a lot of money in Tyson Fury and didn't want to lose the fight. And that was BT, that will be the principal distributor in the UK. But I understand that the Sky has made its platform available as well. So it should be enormous business in the UK, and ESPN in the United States, which will be the distributor, but not to the exclusion of the usual outlets like the cable systems and the satellite dishes. So we, with the bully support of ESPN in the United States, even though it will come through at a relatively early hour for us, it'll still do very, very well. So I really think that, and I commend both of our broadcast partners for really stepping up to the plate and letting us put a bid in like we did to win the fight. Neither of our broadcast partners wanted to lose that fight to Eddie and DAZN. Not that there's any animosity, but competition is competition.
What did you make of Matchroom and Eddie Hearn's bid of, again, just over $30 million, a high bid for a losing bid?
Well, that's, again, he had the backing, I assume, of DAZN, that it would have been a showcase fight for DAZN, which is trying to build a presence, particularly in the UK. Because, I think from their strategy is that having, pretty well failed in the United States to really build any momentum, they had a much better chance in the UK, and this would have helped really launch them in the UK. Or maybe they use the Usyk Joshua fight if to do that. I mean, I don't know.
Bob, we anticipate this doing close to 1 million buys in the UK on BT box office. Given it will be in the early hours in America, obviously it won't be in the evening when this fight is shown. How many buys do you think this does on the ESPN pay-per-view?
We think it has a good chance to do maybe 500,000 buys.
That high, really? Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody will get behind it, and that's what our projections are, to 500,000.
Okay. And
yeah,
what
we're a little bit bigger country.
just a bit. What's the situation with? I know this is nothing to do with you and Frank, really. It's with Team White side, but of course the split was 80-20. We understand that Team White and the WBC are still in arbitration about that split. Do you think that could change?
Yeah, we're going to explain to the Team White side that if Eddie had won the bid and they got 70-30 that they wanted, that's pretty close to 80-20 on our bid, and maybe we can work something out.
Okay.
I don't like litigation. It's sort of stupid. It takes up a lot of time, and it only makes the attorneys rich.
And Bob, we're looking at an April date, end of April in the UK and Cardiff.
I don't know about Cardiff. That's up to Frank. I think, it may be Cardiff. It may be by that time of year, the football venues over in your part of the world will be available. And we might want to breathe the fresh air and do it outside.
Let's just go back before the purse bids then. So about 48 hours before, we heard a lot of talk from Eddie Hearn saying that this step-aside deal with Joshua potentially stepping aside and Dylan White wouldn't take place because Tyson Fury didn't want to fight Alexander Usyk. Team Usyk said similar as well, that he wanted a warm-up fight. What's your comment on that?
Well, that's not true. I mean, the way this was handled was it was convoluted. I mean, first they had to get Joshua signed to step aside. Joshua never signed anything, as he said. I mean, do I know for sure? No, but that's what Joshua said, that he never signed anything. And then they had a real Dylan White problem, because White not only had to step aside for one fight, but two fights. And I don't know if he signed anything. And then there was a whole problem with the Saudis and the television rights. The rights that ran to BT and the rights that ran to ESPN, and that never was addressed. So, I mean, all wishful thinking, and I think the Saudis were in good faith, and the Mideast people that were trying to put it together were in good faith, but they didn't take account of all of these factors. And Tyson saw that, and he said, wow, this is just going down a road that's, never going to find an ending. And he said, I just want to fight.
Completely understand that. Now we get a clear picture where we have no more rematches here. We get Fury White and Usyk Joshua too, and then we get an undisputed
Right, this is the way to do it. This is the easy way to do it. I mean, there's, what is the magic of a Saudi fight? It couldn't be in April because of Ramadan. In June or something, where it's hot as hell there. And instead, they're going to get two semifinal matches, in effect, Usyk and Joshua, White and Tyson Fury. And then if they really are interested in doing a match between the winners of both of these fights, then they can step up to the plate. They got all the time in the world now and negotiate a real contract, not memorandums of understanding that trample on the rights of various entities. I don't want to go into the weeds, but there's a way to do this that is proper, and there's a way to do this which is only looking for trouble. And how do I know this? Because the Joshua fight that was negotiated with Fury a while ago, which didn't happen, was because nobody really wanted to address all of the points that have to be addressed. I mean, what should happen, listen, is while this is going on, you have people representing all four fighters. If the Saudis are interested in the final, right, they should convene a meeting in London, sit around the table, and work out all these points face to face, without intermediaries, without people sending messages back and forth, and get this thing done the way a normal business deal gets done. If they don't, they don't. I mean, yeah, Saudis have a lot of money to spend on events, but they have to do it in the proper way.
I get what you're saying. Just to round off on this, then, did you have a chance to speak to Frank Warren after the purse bids were concluded
Of
last night?
course, of course. Jesus Christ, he wakes me up in the morning. I wake him up in the morning. I mean, it's 8-hour difference between the Las Vegas and London is a killer. So, but we've managed to communicate. You know, Frank and George has been, his son has been terrific. Todd, he worked with Todd, myself, and we've had tremendous amount of communication. We are, in every sense of the word, partners on this venture, and they've been good partners. You know, I've known Frank for, you know, maybe 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you'll be together next week in London. We look forward to seeing
London.
you.
Yeah, I hope the weather changes. How bad is it?
Oh, it's cold here, Bob. Very cold.
Well, we've been in New York too in December, so that was cold.
Yeah,
cold doesn't bother me. Is there no rain or anything?
No, it's not raining at the moment, but I'm sure you'll struggle
Cold,
with
it's
cold.
all right. I'll wear a big coat. Yeah, that's
Yeah, you'll be fine. Just separate from this topic here, please, Bob. Of course, you're targeting April 30th for the unification between Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. Obviously, we know Serrano and Taylor are going that night. Eddie and Jake Paul announced that. Are you still targeting April 30th for that fight?
Who is going that night?
The women's fight between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
I mean, as good a fight as that is, I mean, come on. You know, whatever reason it is, people don't particularly pay attention to the women fights. You know, if the answer is ESPN made the schedule and they couldn't care less. I don't want to denigrate fights. I don't want to be accused of being anti-women in sports, but I'm telling you, this is like the Premier League against women football.
Okay, so the answer is yes, you're going on April 30th with Shakur and Oscar.
April 30th, yeah, of course.
Yeah, fantastic fight that is, brilliant fight.
Yeah.
All right,
where's Eddie going with the Taylor fight?
That's going to be April 30th, yeah.
Where?
Oh, the Garden, New York.
Oh.
No. Yeah, but
Good
yeah,
luck.
that's a Shakur and Oscar's a fantastic fight. Yeah, we really look forward to that one. When do you think we can get an official announcement, Bob?
I think next week. I mean, but as far as I don't know with the PR people when they want to announce, but we had to first go on sale at the Garden with the Berlanga fight, and then we had this, and I think next week we'll announce the April 30th. That's going to be in the Grand Garden in Las Vegas.
Okay, brilliant. And to close off, we're nearly into February. Of course, at the end of February, live on Sky Sports over here and live on ESPN in the States, Josh Taylor defends his 4 belts against Jack Catterall. I'm going to take it that you're going to be there ringside Glasgow, Bob. You're going to come back to the UK?
Yeah, I'll come back. Yeah, I haven't been to Glasgow in years, and my grandson, even during the pandemic when they were doing remote learning, decided to go on a plane and do the remote learning from Glasgow, and he had buddies in Edinburgh, and he thought it was terrific. So I'm looking forward to spending some time in Glasgow. And at my age, it's like to visit all these places where I once did fights is a hoot. I haven't done a fight in Glasgow maybe 50 years. I did the Jim Watt fight with Howard Davis years ago. It was a lightweight championship fight. So again, I'm sure the city looks a lot different from the time that I saw it last. So I'm looking forward to Glasgow. And I got to know Josh a lot when he came over to the United States, both for his fight with Ramirez, but particularly when he came over with Ben, who was training Handy. And he spent a lot of time with us, and he had some problem with his knee and so forth, which we got taken care of by our doctors. So I've spent some quality time with him. He's a really fine young man, and I would, of course, gonna be coming over, if nothing else, to support him in the Catterall fight.
Well, we'll see.
No offense to Catterall, but I've never met Catterall.
Well, you meet him soon. You meet him soon. But firstly, we'll see you in London next week. Safe travels to the UK, and appreciate your time on this Saturday.
It was a pleasure talking to you, and I just hope. Well, if it's just cold, I don't mind.
You'll be okay.
We have big winter coats here.
Yeah, bring your coat. You'll be okay. Bob Arum, thank you very much for coming to IFL TV.
Okay, have a great weekend.
Thank you.